He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop.
Kamala Harris just delivered a scorching takedown of Elon Musk, leaving him utterly steamrolled. Since Musk essentially serves as Trump's Bluetooth speaker, it's clear who really took the blow. The president's reaction? A meltdown so intense, even Twitter, sorry X, couldn't handle it. Did Harris just rock the foundation of the Trump-Musk bromance, or is this just the opening act? Buckle up, this one's about to get wild.
Kamala Harris, post-debate, tweeted out, Donald Trump would ban abortion nationwide. President Joe Biden and I will do everything in our power to stop him and restore women's reproductive freedom. Now, it was hit by a community note first, which said President Trump has repeatedly said he will not sign a national abortion ban. That is actually what he said during the debate, too. And as I said at the top of the show, it was perhaps his best ever explanation, his position on abortion. But anyway, not only did it get hit by community notes, but then Elon Musk himself retweeted it, and he wrote, when will politicians, or at least the intern who runs their account, learn that lying on this platform doesn't work anymore?
The moment Kamala Harris took the mic, you could sense something was brewing. She had that look, like a chef preparing to serve a particularly arrogant dish. And on the menu, Elon Musk's oversized ego paired with a side of Trump-flavored seasoning. She began smoothly, setting the stage with that signature smile, the kind that leaves you wondering if she's about to deliver a profound policy statement or verbally obliterate someone's soul.
I mentioned as a joke, I meant it as a joke, that no one's even bothering to try to kill Kamala. Because there's no point. There's no point, is what just get another puppet, So I'm not suggesting someone should try to kill her, it's pointless. But I'm just saying, I'm just making an observation. Nobody's bothered. Why is that? Because it doesn't matter.
Then she let loose. Musk wasn't just a billionaire tech mogul anymore. In Kamala's world, he had become the errand boy for Trump's grand return, the mouthpiece of a X empire that felt less like a social media platform and more like a billionaire's personal rage diary. And oh, did she make it sting. With a few sharp jabs, she painted Musk as Trump's unofficial chief propaganda engineer. Because let's face it, when Tesla's leader spends more time amplifying conspiracy theories than fixing autopilot crashes, it's clear where his priorities lie.
I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support, if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Kamala didn't stop there. She skillfully wove Musk's influence into Trump's chaotic political web, highlighting that this wasn't just about one man with too much money and too little self-restraint. It was about power.
I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
A tech billionaire who once claimed to be politically neutral was now cozying up to the most chaotic re-election campaign in history, throwing algorithmic tantrums and acting as if he were America's true decision-maker. And if Musk's recent antics were any indication, he had no qualms about letting Trump's ideas simmer in his digital playground, giving them just enough oxygen to spiral into full-blown alternate realities.
Before she was running for president, even the liberal media said Kamala Harris sucks. Now they say she's incredible. Bullshit.
Kamala, of course, delivered this with the finesse of someone who knew exactly how to get under Musk's skin. A subtle smirk, a perfectly timed pause. Each line landed like a precision-guided missile aimed straight at SpaceX headquarters. The idler crowd, total chaos. Some were on their feet, cheering. Others were losing their minds over just how hard she was going. Somewhere in the mix, there was probably one guy recording the whole thing, phone on the floor, already captioning it. Kamala just ended Elon. By the time she finished, you could feel the ripple effect spreading. This wasn't just a speech. It was a roast, a masterclass in political combat, and everyone knew it was only a matter of time before Musk fired back, or worse, before Trump did.
Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, has been caught out engaging in misinformation and disinformation herself. She tweeted this: Donald Trump would ban abortion nationwide. President Joe Biden and I will do everything in our power to stop him and restore women's reproductive freedom. Let me repeat that. Donald Trump would ban abortion nationwide. Well, isn't it good that these days we have things like, I don't know, videos, and I'm not talking about cheap fakes or deep fakes, that we can go back to that prove these kind of statements wrong? Roll the tape.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different.
Musk wasn't about to let this slide, not with his name trending alongside words like obliterated and come as chew toy. The moment Harris's verbal smackdown hit the airwaves, you just knew he was already drafting a response. But the question was, would he go for cool billionaire detachment, or would he let his thumbs loose on X at an ungodly hour? Spoiler alert, he chose chaos. At precisely 3:07 a.m., like clockwork, Musk's account lit up with a series of cryptic, ego-soaked replies. Was it a carefully worded rebuttal? A deep reflection on free speech? No, it was a meme. A blurry, low-resolution meme because, of course, the world's richest man apparently refuses to pay for good Wi-Fi. The image? A badly photoshopped Kamala. Harris pointing at a Tesla with a caption that read, "She doesn't even own one. Classic Musk." But that wasn't enough. Oh no, the X thread quickly spiraled into a Muskian meltdown. One moment he was debating economic policy, the next he was calling Harris a government Karen. Within minutes, he had somehow managed to challenge her to a debate on spaces. No less. Because what's more on brand than Musk demanding a live-streamed intellectual battle at 4 a.m?
Kamala Harris called McDonald's today to ask for her old job back, but they said, no thanks, we don't need another clown.
Of course, the internet was loving it. Musk fanboys rushed in to defend their tech overlord, praising his based response, while others simply dropped popcorn emojis and sat back to watch the chaos unfold. Some even speculated that Musk was in full-on damage control mode, worried that Kamala had just tanked Tesla stock more effectively than any market dip. Then came the inevitable, I'm moving Tesla to Mars moment. You could set your watch by it. Anytime Musk gets particularly riled up, he tosses out a vague threat about leaving Earth, as if the SEC has jurisdiction on the red planet. This time, his declaration was short and sweet. Honestly, Earth is mid, time to expand. Because nothing says, I'm totally not mad, like rage posting about colonizing space after getting dragged on national television. But what really made this moment special was how it stacked up against Musk's long history of feuding with political figures. He's taken shots at everyone from Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren, but this was different. This was a vice. President tearing into him on a global stage, turning him into not just a political target, but a punchline. And for a man who prides himself on being the smartest guy in the room, that had to sting.
I just saw her, Tulsi, she was sitting behind a desk doing this interview. And I said, Dana Bash, you could make yourself big tonight. All you have to do is be fair. I haven't seen the questions, but they gave out a sample. In fact, she's going to be on later on tonight with a taped. It was a taped. We're doing it live. Why are we doing it live and she's doing it taped? But
that's right, he's real.
But she was sitting behind that desk, this massive desk, and she didn't look like a leader to me, I'll be honest. I don't see her negotiating with President Xi of China.
So, was Musk's response genius-level trolling, or just another one of his legendary Twitter meltdowns? It depends on who you ask. But one thing's for sure, this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And somewhere in the White House, Trump was watching Musk flail and realizing he was next in the firing line. If there's one thing guaranteed to trigger a presidential meltdown, it's an attack, real or perceived, on one of Trump's key allies. And when that ally is also one of the richest, most unpredictable men on the planet, you just know Trump wasn't going to sit this one out. The moment Kamala's words sent Musk into a tailspin, it was only a matter of time before Trump inserted himself into the chaos. At first, there was radio silence, an ominous calm before the storm. Then, as if summoned by the sheer force of bruised egos, Trump emerged in full rage mode. Maybe it was an emergency Truth Social post packed with capital letters, exclamation points, and a generous dose of huge mistake. Maybe it was an impromptu press conference where he declared Kamala's speech the most horrible, most unfair, most radical attack he had ever witnessed. Or perhaps, in peak Trump fashion, he stormed into a rally and launched into a 30-minute tirade about how the vice president knows nothing about business, totally disrespected a very great man, and is the reason America is losing.
I challenge all Kamala supporters to name one good reason to vote for her without mentioning Donald Trump. I guarantee you can't.
But let's be honest, Trump's biggest issue wasn't just that Musk got roasted, it was that the world was laughing about it. And if there's one thing Trump cannot handle, it's the idea that he or his allies are the butt of the joke. The internet was flooded with clips of Kamala's speech, Musk's reaction, and Trump's predictable fury, each meme sharper than the last. Suddenly, it wasn't just about policy or billionaire egos. It was about Trump's ability to control the narrative, and he was losing. So, what was the next move? Double down? Launch into an all-out war against Kamala and the liberal media for daring to air the moment in the first place? Maybe even drop a new nickname for her, something he'd workshopped between rage tweets and furious phone calls to Musk. Whatever he chose, one thing was certain. He wasn't letting this go. Because in Trump's world, every battle, no matter how ridiculous, must be fought to the bitter end.
All right, Trump calling out Kamala Harris and the Democrats in that wide-ranging interview with Elon Musk.
Ty Pyro has the highlights.
Good morning to all four of you, former President Trump and Elon Musk, delving into a roughly 2-hour-long conversation. More than 1 million people joining to listen in to the two men who spent a lot of time discussing inflation. Watch.
The thing that they really is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation has eaten you alive.
Trump slamming Harris for not doing an extended interview for more than 3 weeks.
Vague influencers? Oh, they're already in the trenches, typing furiously in all caps about how Kamala hates success and wants to tax innovation into the Stone Age. But here's the fun part. Half of them don't even know what she actually said. They just know it involved Musk, which means it's bad. And yet, even with all the outrage, some can't help but crack a smile. Because let's be honest, watching two of the most famous people on the planet duke it out in public is pure unfiltered entertainment. Within minutes, the internet became a war zone. One side had Kamala edited into a WWE ring, suplexing Musk with a policy binder. The other had Musk photoshopped as Iron Man, inventing a free speech laser to vaporize government overreach. And Trump? Oh, he was everywhere, pouting like a toddler, throwing a Twitter tantrum, or photoshopped into Home Alone getting kicked out of his own hotel.
I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I did not think she was an idiot. I now think she's a moron. She's not that smart. Forgive me, I'm still one of those people who gets wooed by titles. I'm like, she was the Attorney General of the state of California. You know, like, how dumb could she be? Like, dumb. The answer is very, very dumb is the answer. And I've come to that conclusion just with my own eyes and ears from watching and listening to her. She cannot put two sentences together. I mean, the old man is actually losing his mental faculties. She's just not a smart person. And it concerns me because that's all we have in line on the Democratic side. And as Trump's numbers continue to go up and up and up, and I realize some of the polls are showing him beating Joe Biden now in a hypothetical matchup, he's still very vulnerable. He did not win in 2020, and it looks like it's going to be the same matchup. And honestly, Joe Biden's knocking on, the Grim Reaper's door, and she could be the president of the United States in the next 6 years by default, if things go, in a dark and upsetting way. I'm concerned.
Supporters cheered her on like she had just dropped the diss track of the decade, while Musk's fanboys treated this like an attack on innovation itself. Meanwhile, everyone else just grabbed popcorn, watching democracy turn into a comedy special. This isn't just a feud. It's a battle of titans, a spectacle so ridiculous that even reality TV producers are taking notes. On one side, you have Kamala Harris, who walked up to the mic, saw Musk's towering ego, and decided to bulldoze right through it. On the other, you have Elon Musk, a man who has built rockets, electric cars, and a social media empire. Yet, still can't resist firing off chaotic 3 a.m. posts whenever someone dares to challenge him. And then looming over everything like a golden specter is Trump. Because let's be real, if there's drama, he's not far behind.
There's never been anything like MAGA in the history of this country. These people are so dedicated to making America great again. It's very simple. And I'm going to treat them just the same as I treat MAGA. We're going to treat everybody good. We want success for our country. We want safety for our country. I want to treat everybody the same. I want to treat them well. All work together. And we're going to bring it together. Prior to COVID coming in, I had polls that were the highest anyone. McLaughlin and Fabrizio said, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, if they came back from the dead and they ran as president and vice president, couldn't beat you, sir. We were doing so well. Success was bringing the country together, and that's what I want.
The question now is, does any of this actually matter? On one level, no. This is just another absurd, popcorn-worthy moment in Trump's second term. A bizarre but predictable clash between political power and tech supremacy. But dig a little deeper, and this mess actually reveals a bigger struggle. Who really gets to control the narrative? Tech billionaires have been flexing their influence for years, shaping political conversations with algorithms, social media platforms, and an army of online followers. But politicians, especially ones like Kamala, aren't about to let them dictate the game without a fight. For Musk, this could go one of two ways. If he plays the long game, brushes it off, and keeps himself aligned with Trump's agenda, he solidifies his position as the right-wing tech messiah, a free speech warrior standing up to the evil government. But if he keeps spiraling, turning every criticism into an ego-driven meltdown, he risks looking exactly like the thing his fans claim to hate. A whiny, entitled billionaire who can dish it out but can't take it. The fact that he has the power to shut down entire conversations on his own platform while complaining about censorship? Yeah, that's not a great look.
Kamala Harris would be so dangerous as president commander-in-chief because I have no doubt in my mind she would immediately feel the need to exert strength and prove that she is a truly strong and powerful commander-in-chief of the United States of America's military. And what better way to do that than to actually use our military and go out and commit an act of war.
And what about Kamala? She could just walk away from this and let Musk continue self-destructing. But if she's smart, and let's be honest, her team is already working overtime on this, she'll keep pressing the advantage. Musk's reaction is giving her something politicians rarely get in a debate, a chance to look cool. The memes are already there. Kamala with sunglasses, a mic drop, maybe even a laser-eyed deal with it gif. If she keeps this up, she could flip the script on the tech bro crowd and make herself look like the fearless one who isn't afraid to take on billionaires. Then, of course, there's Trump. If he sees Musk struggling, does he swoop in to defend his biggest donor, or does he sense weakness and remind everyone that he's the real kingmaker? Because let's be real, Trump loves Musk when he's useful, but the second he becomes a liability, he'll get thrown under the bus faster than a failed Truth Social stock. So, does this feud change the world? Probably not. But does it give us a front row seat to the pettiness, power struggles, and straight-up absurdity of Trump's second term? Absolutely. And that's more entertaining than any billionaire-funded trip to Mars.